We're live? Okay, awesome. All right, good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 18th, and this is the Greenberg Central School District Board of Education meeting, our regular meeting. First item on the agenda is calling the meeting to order. Okay. Our board president is slightly delayed. She'll be here momentarily. She asks that we go ahead and start the meeting. Number 2 on the agenda is anticipated adjournment to executive session. Do we have a motion?
I move that we adjourn to executive session to discuss the employment history of particular persons, personnel matters, and/or employee records, and matters deemed confidential by state or federal law, including seeking advice from counsel.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're going to go ahead and go into executive session, and we will be back. Thank you.
Good evening. It's 8:36 p.m. and we have returned from our initial executive session. We're going to reconvene into open session with the Pledge of Allegiance. Item B1, if everyone could please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have C1 and an introduction of new hires. Christine, do we have any new hires here today? Wonderful. Who is here? Oh, I see some people there. If you could just come up to the stage up here, please, and take the mic from our district clerk and introduce yourself. Please come up on stage so we can meet you. Yeah, we can't see down there, unfortunately. Yeah, we should. Hi, nice to meet you. Hi.
Hello, good evening. My name is Junia Rodriguez, and I am teaching Spanish 7 through 12 here at the middle high school. I have 8 years teaching experience, and I am also a Greenberg resident, and my children go to the Greenberg School District.
Awesome.
So I'm very happy and proud to be here today.
Hello, nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Yes, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, good evening. It's great when residents want to work here. It's wonderful. Yes, and our kids go here, yeah. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Yes, yes. Hello, good evening.
Hello, my name is Khalid Hill. I'm 26 years old. I'm alumni of Woodlands High School. Yeah. I just got promoted to a teacher assistant. I was previously a teaching aide for 3 years with Elijah Abraham. I'm currently about to be with Mr. Rooney in life skills. I'm very excited.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And you're at Woodlands Middle High School working with our students. Thank you so much. We got graduates, we got residents and parents working. Okay, is there any other staff here tonight? No? Okay. Well, that made us happy, huh? Okay, wonderful. Thank you guys so much for coming out this evening. Next on our agenda, we do have a budget presentation, which we are going to do this evening. However, we do need to go back into executive session. We didn't want people to wait too long. So we're going to skip over that and come back to it after our second executive session. Now we have committee reports. Item D1, is there any committee reports from the board? Yes, Trustee Warner?
I do not have a committee report. I have several announcements related to that. We have a community engagement committee meeting this Wednesday at 7 p.m. It'll be a virtual meeting. There will be a link online for anybody who wants to show up for that. It will be on the online district calendar. Then this Thursday is the Finance and Facilities Committee meeting, which will be held at 6:30 p.m. in the Woodlands High School Innovation Lab. And if you want to attend remotely, you can come in through Zoom, and again, we'll put a link on the calendar. And then coming on April 26th is the WISE street naming and tree dedication ceremony in honor of our 50th anniversary, and we'll also be honoring Vic Leviathan and Constantine Andriatis, who were WISE leaders who passed on. That's 11 a.m. April 26th. So if you have any recollection of WISE, or if you are interested in WISE, please attend.
Wonderful. Any questions, concerns, comments about the announcements for dates? Yes?
Trustee Warner, I'm going to put you on the spot. For anyone who wanted to attend the event on April 26th at 11 a.m., should they RSVP anywhere? I'll try to find it.
Yes, I think they should RSVP somewhere. And the question is wise@greenbergcsd.org, or by scanning the QR code on this flyer if you happen to see the flyer. But if you're online, then wise@greenbergcsd.org. That's the best place to RSVP, and that will allow us to know how many refreshments we're going to buy for WISE, the Woodlands Individualized Senior Experience.
Trustee Warner, can I raise that request and ask to maybe if you put like a blurb together that we can put on the website or something? Oh,
Like
you already
this?
had it. Wonderful.
Okay.
Is it possible, Dr. Iverson, to have that on the?
And Dr. Iverson, is it possible to use our social media platforms to also promote this, and maybe a phone blast? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, any other committee reports or announcement for dates? Trustee Vallon.
The Governance and Policy Committee is scheduled to meet next Monday at 4 p.m. That Monday, April 24th at 4 p.m. That may need to change, and I will know within 2 days and reach out to the committee members.
Okay.
I will also confirm with our committee members who said they may have time issues, whether that time still works. So look for an update on the district calendar
Okay.
if that committee will change. Thank you.
Okay, great. Trustee Pineda?
Just a brief announcement. The next meeting of the Safety and Technology Committee is Wednesday, April 26th at 5:30 p.m. in the Woodlands Middle High School Innovation Lab. And as always, we'll stream it live on YouTube if anybody wants to see it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. Any other committee announcements, reports? Hearing none, we're going to move on. Board President's report, I'm going to table in the essence of time. It's now 8:43, and we're going back into executive session unless there are public comments. Do we have any public comments? Item D3, no public here? Okay. So trustees, I heard from you that you'd like to have a second executive session before we do our budget presentation. We did anticipate or plan to be able to return from executive session by 9:30. It's now 8:43. Can I get a motion?
I move that we adjourn to the executive session to discuss the employment history of particular persons, personnel matters, and/or employee records, and matters deemed confidential by state or federal law, including seeking advice from counsel.
And properly moved in second. Discussion? Hearing none. I do have a discussion item. If we do go over 9:30, we will inform the district clerk and make an announcement so that the public can know to return at 10 o'clock instead of 9:30 or something like that, okay? So right now, we're expected to return at 9:30. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. We're in executive session, 8:44 p.m.
Hello, the board is still in executive session and is planning to return at 10 p.m.
We are back in public session. Thank you. Sorry, I still have trustees walking, but we're going down there for our presentation. Next, it's like 11:15-ish. Okay, and we're gonna do our budget presentation. Miss Lisa Raymond is gonna present for us, and trustees, please come down to the audience. Thank you.
Yes, get my PowerPoint. So we have to do the presentation and questions.
Okay, so this proposed budget includes program efficiencies, which we plan on consolidating some academic programs into one position. Special ed requirements, we've added 3 additional teachers based on our needs, and we will determine if it's 2 or 3 teachers the next school year. The early childhood program teacher year, we're making all teachers and teacher assistants be on the same calendar for the number of days per year that they work. We've made some revisions to supplies and materials in the whole. And under contractual, we decided that we would look for a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant to determine the needs of our district before we would hire a position. Gas and electrical costs will increase as they did last year. They started to increase, and they have continually increased this school year. Once we do the energy performance contract and that is concluded, the energy savings that is guaranteed will be reflected in the budget, and these gas and electric costs should decrease. We've made an adjustment to judgments and assessments based on previous years. And we've included allocations for restorative practices and social emotional learning. We've added a college and career readiness teacher that will serve as an on-site teacher and assist with the implementation of college and career readiness standards. This position will teach college readiness courses, which will include SAT and ACT test prep and essay writing, and provide vertical alignment with middle school. It will also identify students for IB courses, college-level courses, and our WISE program. We've also, included a stipend for a security coordinator. We are developing a description of what that stipend will include, but we plan on having somebody who will coordinate that every building will be properly staffed due to absences throughout the district, somebody who will help with professional development for all of our security staff and other staff, such as office staff, and someone who will keep track of the overtime and how it is handed out amongst our security staff throughout all of our buildings. So here's the expenditure side by function as it was presented at the last meeting. As I said prior, there are 6 major functions. The instruction portion obviously should be the largest and is the largest of all of these functions, and that's where all the instructions to our students is paid out of. This budget-to-budget increase is a 4.67%. Under the capital interfund transfers that we've put in $1.3 million again for next year, and we narrowed it down to doing the R.J. Bailey Auditorium roof, which is estimated that would cost $780,850. It has been decided by our architects that it is their recommendation that we replace the entire shingled roof area. This way we would avoid questions when this project goes to SCD, why we are only doing a portion of that portion of the roof and not the whole thing. The other thing that we would like to include is the Highview third grade window wall replacement, which is a safety concern of ours, and that would cost $450,139. The total of these two would be $1,230,989, which leaves just a little bit more than $69,000 to complete the $1.3 million transfer, and that money could be used for other renovations, such as the bathroom renovations that were spoken about at a previous board meeting. On the revenue side, nothing has changed here, and we are proposing a 3% increase tax levy to tax levy. Since our last meeting, we are still unsure of the final state aid numbers since the state budget hasn't been passed. These figures that are represented here are the governor's numbers that were released in January. The other large increase, aside from the tax levy and state aid, is under miscellaneous revenues. That is due largely in part by an increase in sales tax. Greenburgh Central School District collects approximately 1.11% of the revenue that Westchester County earns. We have also seen a spike or an increase in our interest income, so we were able to increase there. And our tuition and health and welfare billings have also increased. So what is the impact on the taxpayers? The first chart you'll see here, which I apologize that it's small, but you should have a copy in your, copy of the presentation that I handed out to the administrator, or excuse me, the trustees, and this will be on our website. So the first chart was presented at the April 11th Board of Education meeting. This shows that there is a proposed increase to our tax levy of 3%. The increase to the town aggregate assessment is 6.7%. The average assessment on a home in this example did not increase. And I did not increase this here because the town did a revaluation of properties and brought everybody up to 100% of market value. Since that was done in this current school year, going to the next school year, I assumed that everything would remain constant. So since the aggregate assessed value increased by 6.7 and the tax levy increased by 3% and the tax rates per 1,000 decreased, but the average assessment of a home remained the same, then taxes would go down. After Amy and I spoke with our town assessor multiple times this week, the second chart shows you that if the tax levy increases by 3% And the aggregate assessment, which is the assessment of the whole Greenburgh Central School District, increases by 6.7%, which is determined by our town assessor doing a survey, by the Office of Real Property Services in Albany doing their own survey, and an independent contractor that is hired to do market trends for our school district. Those three entities get together once a year. They go over and discuss what it is that they have determined. They make a recommendation to the state, and then the state is the one that makes the final determination of what the assessments are going to be. So the school district has no control over the individual property taxes and no control over the assessed values. This, again, comes from the assessor, the Office of Real Property Service, and the independent contractor, who all get together and make the recommendation to Albany. So going back to this example, I used a different single-family home assessment because in speaking with the assessor and all of the information that she provided to us, the average assessment on a single-family home in our district is in the $500,000 range. So I found a home that in 22-23 is valued at $516,000. In 23-24 now, because of what the information that was collected, the state has upped the market value of that house to $558,100, which is an 8.16% increase. So if you take that increase of 8.16 and subtract out the increase of the assessment per our town of 6.7, you will get approximately 1.4 increase. And because we are asking for a 3% increase in the levy, if you add the two together, that will show what the increase in this individual home taxes will increase, and that is 4.23%. If the aggregate of 6.7 and the tax levy, if you subtracted those two, and the single-family home assessment only went up by 3.7%, then then that taxpayer would owe nothing from year to year. They would pay exactly the same as they did this year. But that's not obviously what happened once everything was filed. So does anybody have any questions? Trustee, you need who?
Thank you, Ms. Raymond. It's very late, but that was a great going through presentation. Did have some questions. Could you give some examples of supplies and materials that could be eliminated or changed in some way?
Well, we decided to come up with a dollar amount, and then we were going to take that dollar amount and divide it proportionally amongst all of our schools and departments, and then they would have to find savings from that.
Okay.
So there's nothing specific at this time.
I'm trying to assess the impact on the student with any supplies and materials, but maybe we can get some detail on that. It's, through between now and what about the security coordinator stipend? Why is a stipend in the budget?
We thought that it would be helpful if one person had all of the information. So as I've told you previously, we do have absences almost daily throughout our schools. And then my office is coming to this school because we have the most security people here and asking, please give us somebody that I can send to another school. If we had a security coordinator, that person would be the one who would know who was in, who was out, and get the coverage for that. Also, it is my office for the support staff that coordinates the professional development on superintendent conference days and professional development days. We also have sent some of our security staff for training throughout the year. Actually, Dr. Iverson just sent me a 2-day training that will be happening at the end of May that we will have somebody, at least 2 people go to. But if somebody was able to coordinate all of that or gather all of that information, as well as work with Ms. Walsh in my department to develop the professional development, the ongoing, the CPR training, all of that kind of training that we try to get our security people and our office staff. A lot of times, even though our office staff are not security people, they are still on the front line, sometimes just as much as the security people. So when we do some of the training for our security staff, we include the office staff. That person would be instrumental in helping find the development, professional development, and coordinating it with Karen. And then the other major thing is that we try to keep our overtime on a wheel system so that everybody gets a fair chance of the overtime. But a lot of times, what's happening at this school, another school might not know about, or somebody at another school would like to work a basketball game or the play. If we had one person who was coordinating all that and knew everybody who wanted to do the overtime, they could put them on this wheel and schedule it ahead of time. We really don't have anybody that does that now. It's kind of mishmashed. We thought that would just be more a better way of doing things.
Thank you. Any other trustees have questions? I know the hour is late. I think you should go now. Here you go.
Okay. So, while it wasn't shown in any of the slides, the budget includes, as a cost-saving measure, the elimination of the ECP director and the IB coordinator positions, and the creation of.
Just for clarity, can you put up the first slide? I don't know if you're who's managing the very first slide. Trustee Warren, I just don't want people to be confused because it's not physically there. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Trustee Warner, you're talking about A, program efficiencies, consolidate some academic programs into one position. Okay, thank you.
A, program efficiencies, consolidate some academic programs into one position. So the budget now includes the elimination of the ECP director and the IB coordinator ENL positions, right? And the creation in its place of a senior director of academic programs, which includes the IB program, ALPA and other advanced programs, world languages, ENL, grant application and administration, PK through grade 2, program consistency, showcases of student talent, that's the STEAM extravaganza, art show, musicals, and plays, identifying new research-based instructional practices per the district vision, developing parent university courses, managing the MTSS plan, monitoring after-school extended learning and home instruction, and child nutrition programs. Okay, so long list. I'm concerned that the position as drafted has so many duties that neither the IB World Languages ENL nor the ECP director functions will receive enough attention. 2 people are devoted to full-time, roughly to half the bullets in the job description. So I'm wondering how to address this. What percentage of the new position time will be devoted to each area of responsibility? I guess that's a Macaluso question. Is he here?
No, Dr. Macaluso had to leave.
Okay, go ahead.
So we sent to the board the revised job description that sort of divvied up those responsibilities and how we calculated the amount of time. for each. I don't have it down here. I can go. But so was that not the answer, Trustee Warner, when we sent you that? We showed that breakdown.
I haven't seen, I've seen a breakdown of costs, which is the
a percent of
the
time.
opposite position, the next thing I'll talk about. But no, we didn't know how much time would get devoted to each thing.
Well,
Here, maybe it'll help
If
you
you-
if I hand you this list.
I just have the list on my desk. I don't have it down here. Yes.
Sure.
Very clearly.
They're just those bullets right there.
Mhm. So again, the vision around this is as in consolidating these academic, all these academic programs. It's hard to divvy up how much time each will take. The position in and of itself, we see it as being comprehensive enough to be able to handle all of these pieces of the position equally as deemed necessary. Some won't be the same amount of time, but the position can manage all of these roles that you have here. We don't have a specific amount of time each one will be. The role is encompassing all of it, and the person will be able to address all of these specifics.
Okay, so would you agree then that each of the previous positions that have been subsumed in this will get less than half the attention they got before in terms of person power time?
No, I will not agree to that.
Okay, then how is that possible?
Because they're not all equal in the amount of time they require. So this position, all of these things listed here will be managed in that one position and will work out because they're not all equal, for lack of a word, importance, and take the same amount of time to do. So we see the position as being able to encompass and take care of all of these.
Okay, so thank you. Now I'm going to move on to the next
Okay.
piece.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you for having
Sure.
your notes, mine up on the desk.
So then the opposite side of the coin is how much would we need to add to the budget if we did not add the Senior Director of Academic Programs, but instead maintained the existing Director of IB and World Languages and E&L position and the Director of ECP positions?
I think
What's the effect on the taxpayer? And that's what we have numbers for. Lisa,
Okay.
do you want
Yes,
to
we
just
do.
read that back to us?
I think the amount was about 180,000 or so, and 186,000, and you'll tell about the effect of the taxpayer.
And that would take the tax levy from 3% increase to 3.30% increase.
Thank you. Okay, those were my questions. That's good.
Trustees, are there any other questions? Hearing none, thank you for your budget presentation. Ms. Raymond, we'll clap for that. But Ms. Raymond, if people have questions, Ms. Raymond, Dr. Iverson, if people have additional questions, if they feel like they don't have enough information,
They can,
what is?
we still have that budget at greenbergcsd.org email.
Okay, they can email. What else?
They can email me personally. They can call.
Are we doing a FAQ this year?
Yes, we will be. We'll be doing that, and I believe Mr. Lewis and I will be doing a video.
Okay, so there's a video, there's a FAQ. We're also going to have the budget newsletter as usual.
Correct. Correct.
Any other things?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So, of course, you can always call trustees as well, or we'll forward any information to the administration. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone. We are back. We did C2, the budget presentation. We're now going to move ahead in our agenda to E1, which is a resolution to adopt the 2023-2024 budget, and E2, a real property tax card report. Can I get a motion, please?
I move that we adopt item E1 and E2.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. Is there any discussion? Trustee
Yes.
Warner.
All right. In keeping with the Q&A that we just had, I'm going to be, I intend to vote no on this, and that has to do with the Senior Director of Academic Programs position. I kind of feel like the one person can't possibly do all the work that needs to be done. I know we're saving money by combining the two positions into one. I also have some personnel issues, but we discussed that in closed session. So primarily, it's money versus functionality, and I think that IB is a flagship program, and I think that it's good to have an ECP director, and so I'm going to vote no on the budget.
Trustee Warner, you made a motion for both items. Are you voting no on both items?
If you want me to pull out one item, we can do that. I can withdraw my motion.
Thank you.
I withdraw my motion.
Wonderful. Okay. Motion withdrawn and acknowledged. So do you have a specific motion you want to make at this point?
I move that does somebody else want to move that we adopt this? Because I'm going to vote no on it.
That's what I was waiting for. So does anyone want to make a motion for E1?
I move that we adopt item E1 as presented.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion?
I repeat what I
Yes.
just said
We heard
earlier.
you. We heard you.
Okay.
Hearing no discussion, I do have a point of discussion. I'm going to agree with you, Trustee Warner. I do agree that I don't love the position. I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry. Can you give me the name of the position?
Senior Director of Academic Programs.
Thank you. I don't love the Senior Director of Academic Programs job description and position as presented to us, and I do think that needs to be edited in some way. That's my individual trustee opinion. However, I am going to support the budget as a whole. I also have some concerns about a stipend, specifically just for one position that's included in the budget as opposed to the usual stipend procedure. So I am not happy with that either. However, I am going to vote to support the budget as presented, but I do want you to understand you're not alone in that concern about that position, okay? Are there any other trustees with any discussion points? Hearing none. Christine, please poll the board.
David Warner,
No.
Tracy Mares,
Yes.
Ashley Pineda,
Yes.
Chris Fallon,
Yes.
Kiana Washington,
Yes.
Julia Law.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. There's another motion here under budget, E2, real property tax report card.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education adopts the real property tax report card as presented, a copy of which will be appended to the minutes of this meeting. I move that we adopt this motion.
It's been properly moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Now we're up to regular meeting approvals. F1, can I get a motion for Section G?
I move that we approve the instructional personnel items presented to the board for approval this evening.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Item F2, Section H, non-instructional personnel items.
I move that we approve the non-instructional personnel items presented to the board for approval this evening.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Section F3, board action items.
I move that we approve the board action items presented to the board for approval this evening.
Second, and discussion.
It's been properly moved in second. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Trustee Valen?
I'd like to point out that item 5, item I, this is I.
Give me a page,
I5,
please.
We need to actually
Give us-
discuss and choose.
Give us a page, please.
9. So I'm not sure if we should amend the motion to pull that out.
The motion needs to be withdrawn, thank you. And a name needs to be posted. So does anyone want to withdraw the motion?
I withdraw the motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Valen. So let's discuss item I5. Is there a recommendation from a board member for a person?
I nominate Brady.
Does there any trustee, did you want to give feedback? Is there any trustee who has another person? Thank you for bringing that to our attention, Trustee Valen. Hearing none, we will nominate Cheryl Brady for that position. Christine, you have that? Okay. So can we get a motion for board action items?
I move that we adopt the board action items presented for approval this evening.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Item F4, finance items.
I move that we approve the finance items presented to the board for approval this evening.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Item F5, business items. Is there a
I
motion?
move that we approve the business items presented to the board for approval this evening.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion?
Discussion.
Go ahead.
I think we need to table item 7, item K7, page 14.
Do you want to talk about why?
Agreed.
Briefly, I think that there is not enough information in the contracts as attached. There's still questions with regards to scope, and I'm hoping we're going to discuss that a little bit at FinFac on Thursday. I don't know if Trustee Warner or Ms. Raymond want to add anything, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah, I concur. I don't think we have the list of what we're getting for our money in the form that it will go to NYSED. So yeah, we're not there yet, and we should table this. You're right.
You want to amend your motion?
I amend the motion to exclude item
K7.
K7.
So K1 through 6.
Yes,
And
I
we'll
move that
table in
we
K7.
approve items K1 through 6.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes?
Sorry, I just have a quick question for Ms. Raymond. The change order on item K1, that's because it didn't cost as much as we expected, so we're getting money back? Correct. Thank you. No further discussion? from
Thank
me?
you, Trustee Pineda.
Just a question on item K5. I thought we were going to get a 4-year version of this document contract, and I see it's still a 1-year.
K5.
K5?
Ed Leo.
It's my understanding that it's going to be a multi-year contract, but when you go through BOCES, the COSER is year to year.
Okay, so this is the same dollar amount as the 4-year, just we're going to do it on an annual basis.
Correct.
Thank you.
And so then every July, Dr. Iverson will sign the COSER form, and that goes in, but you can only do that year by year.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next on our agenda is item F6, section pupil personnel services items.
I move that we approve the pupil personnel services items presented to the board for approval this evening.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. We are at closing items. M1, new business items. Is there any new business? Hearing none, we'll move on to adjournment. Can I get a motion?
I move we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Meeting is adjourned, 11:48 p.m. Thank you. Good night.